really for me, and I wasn't getting enough value out of it. So I did decide to drop out. I got my real estate license like as fast as I could. Have been doing a bit of investing in like the stock market and whatnot, as well as some forex trading. But pretty much at the moment, I'm a real estate agent, and I make videos and content for like YouTube and Instagram. And yeah.
All right. My name is Khalil. I'm 19 as well. I did drop out of university too, and I got my mortgage license. And we did a little bit of investing in forex and things like that. But right now, we focus on content and closing deals.
Yeah, my name's Nolan. I'm 19, got my mortgage license. Coming out of high school, I didn't even apply for college or university, none of that. I kind of knew, real estate was the way I wanted to go. And yeah, I've been in it for roughly a year now, and I love it, so yeah.
About AF real quick. Okay, DJ, go ahead.
Hi guys, my name is DJ. So I'm currently still getting my real estate license. They're all licensed, so I need to catch up. I actually went to Ryerson for accounting and finance, and I just dropped out like at the beginning of my second year, and I just felt like I wanted something different, and like I didn't want to work for anyone. I wanted to have my financial independence for myself, and I think like real estate is where I can get that from.
Yeah. So that was our way work together.
What grade are you guys like all in?
Yeah.
And, grade
So
11?
you guys know what you want to do like after high school?
Yeah?
You do?
Yeah.
What's like the biggest like kind of area for real estate right now? What's booming?
What do you
In terms of like,
Like value.
Market.
oh, well, so as a realtor myself, primarily I focus in the Durham region, and obviously like location is key, right? So anything in like the Toronto area, it just goes up over time. But in terms of investing, affordability wise, not everyone can afford in Toronto, Pickering, like Brampton, Richmond Hill, blah, blah, blah. But like even like Southwestern Ontario, if you're looking at London, Ontario, Kitchener, Waterloo, in terms of investing, it's definitely more affordable, but it really depends on what each individual wants. Yeah.
Also, I feel like we didn't really explain this at the start. Oh, you had a question?
Yeah, I do. Sorry, I'm not even a part of DECA. I'm doing my detention right now, but I'm very interested. How long did it take you to learn how to forex trade? Because I've been like researching every day, and like I can't wrap my head around it.
It took me probably like half a year to actually like be like fully like in depth with it.
Yeah.
But I would say like to get a good understanding of it, it would take like at least 3 years to be like fully like a full-time, become a full-time trader.
Did you have a mentor?
Yeah, so-
that's the most important thing about it
Yeah.
is like having someone that you can like leverage their knowledge and utilize what they know, because it's kind of hard to do that when you're just going into it on your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, and like one thing I also recommend is definitely like save the time and money and get like a mentor, like a course or something.
Yeah.
If you are even interested, come talk to one of us after.
definitely.
Yeah, like I'm so interested.
Yeah, we have business partners that literally have a mentorship program, so
Exactly.
definitely do that. I think someone else had a question.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is this forex trading like stocks and stuff?
So
Do you want to? Yeah, go ahead.
So forex is like, it's called the foreign exchange market. You know how you see like currencies constantly changing and things like that? So there's 3 different types of markets. There's stock, like you said, there's forex, and then there's crypto. Forex is just basically you're trading different currencies throughout the world. It's basically it.
Yeah. With trading, right? Yeah, you can go.
So I started off, I'm not even gonna lie, I started off with like, because I was a little unsure, so I started off with a demo account, which is like you're basically, it's not real money, so you're just trading with the money like the account gives you, but then I decided to put real money in. I started with $100 just to kind of test it, and I was seeing the return, but I was like, I want to actually like gain more and more return than that. So I then decided to go all out and put like $1,000 in, and that's when like so basically I started with $1,000 essentially.
And like, just to reiterate on that, another thing to note is like, just because Khalil started with 1,000 or someone else started with 100 or 10,000, you should really be wondering like, what can you really start off with? Because my finances will never be the same as yours, and yours won't be the same as your friends, blah, blah, blah. So always make sure that you have your own right number that you got to yourself, right?
Exactly. And a little bit of backstory. Okay, so I don't think we explained this, but like, so the way we work together, so since he's a real estate agent, well, these two are real estate agents and we're mortgage agents. I'm assuming you know what a real estate agent is. They find your house, you find that dream home and then you move in, but then you have to get that mortgage on the home, which is what we do. So it's like, you know how your parents pay like that monthly mortgage, that loan on your house every month? That's basically what we are getting them, and that's what we work together. So it's like he's like the first step of the process. We're kind of the ending and the final step of the process.
So do you like negotiate with the banks to get like the best mortgage possible for your client?
Yeah, we talk to, like with a mortgage agent, you can talk to multiple lenders, not just banks, right? So we can talk to kind of anyone to get you a loan, right? Private, personal, all that, right? So.
I was just wondering, because you guys are all really young, how did you build like a reputation? Like how did you get clients?
We definitely, that was definitely a challenge, right? People were like, how do you know, etc. Like, how do you know all this stuff if you're literally, 18, 19, right? And it comes down to how you prove it and like your work ethic, right? What you know, etc. So us, we all, like, it took us probably 6 months to even just develop those systems for the credibility. But through the past year, we've definitely built a pretty credible, reputation. Yeah.
Like once you gain that knowledge, nobody can really tell you anything.
Yeah. So it basically just comes down to proving them wrong, right?
Exactly.
Because age isn't like a limiting factor in my opinion at all.
And like since we also do a lot of stuff for social media, like videos and whatnot, people kind of see that, without even meeting us, they already know that we're knowledgeable on certain topics and whatnot. So definitely social media, like marketing, has definitely been, I think, huge for all of us as
Yeah,
well.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever doubt yourself like along the way? Wow.
1,000,000%.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like I'm not even gonna lie. When I dropped out, I was kind of like shook. Didn't know like if it was gonna be the right decision. Obviously now, I do. Like I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
And along the way, of course, we had doubts. We failed at many things that we were doing along the way.
Hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Hundreds of times.
The thing with entrepreneurship too is like you don't get paid based on like time or anything. So like sometimes you'll go a few weeks or even months without results. So that means you're not getting paid for that long, right? So it's like, well, like, do I really like? Should I just quit, get a job, or should I just quit, whatever? So I think we all have had that time where it's like, okay, like,
Definitely.
can we do this? Is this really for us? Should we give up? Blah blah blah.
But then one thing that like brings us back to like reality is the fact that like we have like we speak to really like wealthy people and like we've had millionaires tell us like you have no reason not to be like as successful as I am, and like the countless times we've heard like millionaires and like older people telling us that like we wish we started when we were your age, and that's why
Yeah.
that's one definitely thing that why I don't regret like dropping out and starting when I'm young, because that's gonna take you the farthest.
How did you get access to all these like millionaires and like get advice?
I
and,
like that question.
That's a very good question, actually. The power of networking is
Yeah.
very insane, honestly. So for us, kind of, we definitely go down in downtown Toronto to a lot of networking events, dinners, etc. Right? So you just have to get yourself out there
And
and.
then how do you give that rich person like a reason to like talk to you?
visit.
Because technically you like have no knowledge compared to them. So like how do you get them interested in like mentoring?
That's also a good question, and the fact that like when think about it from their perspective, when they see someone that's like hustling at a really young age, they say like, oh, I wish I was them, and I wish I started when they were their age. So it's like they're kind of almost like enticed to speak to us and like understand what we're doing and kind of help us out along the way.
Yeah, and like to add to that as well, like a lot of our mentors and a lot of our business partners and whatever, we always try and create win-win situations, because this way that person has a reason to meet us, right? Because realistically, we're just 19-year-olds, right? Like you guys will be literally us in a few years. So it's like, how do you get someone to meet us? Like since we are knowledgeable on, again, social media and technology, we kind of leverage that to our use, and we kind of say, hey, like, we'll teach you about this if you can teach us like business principles or whatever. So that's just another way that we kind of get people to kind of, like meet us and whatnot. Yeah.
I see like in books like people will get mentors by like essentially working for these
free.
more
Yep.
experienced people and like
Yeah.
for free essentially.
Yeah, working for free, by the way, guys, I recommend it so much. Even if it's just for a few months or like one whole year, working for free, I promise you it will pay back. I've worked for free before, and it has just boosted my knowledge and everything in general. So yeah, that's one tip as well.
Yeah, like how do you say like, oh, I want to be like your people, you're my mentor, like how do you approach
Oh
it?
yeah, how to ask to get
Yeah.
someone to be your mentor.
So I can share my story. So I actually had so I know how to edit videos, right? Because again, I know how technology works. So I literally just edited some videos for free. Didn't even say anything, and I just emailed it out to someone, right? This is Jeff Weibo.
Yeah.
I emailed it out, and then he saw it, and he was like, "Whoa, like this is amazing." And then he then later offered me a job, and like that would have never happened if I didn't just do the work and just send it to him. Like he never asked for it. I never told him I was gonna do it. I just did it and sent it out to him. Will it work all the time? I don't know. It worked for me. It might not work for you, right? So it just really, you have to be strategic with it, right? So that's yeah.
Definitely comes down to stepping out of your comfort zone as
Yeah.
well, and kind of just reaching out to people that you'd think would never even respond back or care in general. But yeah, I do find when we're out and about, right, our age definitely intrigues people to say, you know, why are you even here?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you interested in this, right? So I guess age definitely plays a factor in mentorships liking us, I guess.
Yeah.
What do your parents think about like you deciding to like?
I like this question.
DJ, you want to start? I don't know why DJ said that. Come on,
So-
DJ has an interesting one.
Yeah, we'll
So
go down
for,
the line.
so for me, I was already like my first year. I finished my first year for accounting and finance at Ryerson. When I told my parents about thinking about doing real estate and just potentially dropping out, they were definitely not happy with it. They were saying, no, continue your school, finish school, and I, for one, did not like it because I didn't want to work under someone. I wanted to be my own boss, and two, because like school, like, you know, like it's uni, man. Like I feel like it's just like, I don't know. I feel like with you and your own business, like you can definitely go off with a lot more farther. Yeah. But what about you guys?
Yeah, so my mom's already within the real estate industry and whatnot, so for me to kind of jump into it, it wasn't too big of a deal. Obviously, you know, she would have liked to see me go to school, but now she doesn't care about that at all. And yeah, for me it was pretty easy. My mom's very supporting in that way, so.
Yeah. I agree. My mom's very supportive. She's also in the industry as well, but she did push me to go to school. Like she would take me to like school tours all across like the country and stuff like that, just because she wanted me to do that. But then I was taking economics at the University of Buffalo, and after like 2 months there, I was literally doing my homework. I'm like, every single thing I was learning and like all my homework and stuff like that, I could simply Google, and if I put in my own effort, I could find those answers and like learn that stuff on my own. So why am I here learning from somebody that's not doing what I want to do, kind of? So then I decided, like, I explained that to my mom. Obviously, she still wanted me to stay, but like sometimes you kind of have to make your own decisions in a sense. So I decided, yeah, like, it's not for me, and she understands that now, specifically now. But yeah, she's pretty understanding with things and supportive. So it comes down to like just taking initiative and
Making the job,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I'm similar to DJ, like, you know, immigrant parents are like, you gotta go to school, get a good job. So when I decided to drop out, especially after only a week of going to university, they were kind of like, oh, like, I don't know about this, like, this isn't good for you, this and that. But, you know, again, like Khalil said, you gotta take initiative. You need to really understand that only you will know what's right for you, not your friends, teachers, not your parents. In most cases, they will, but sometimes you do gotta, you know, push the barrier and make your own decision. So they weren't too happy, and, you know, now they're kind of, you know, easing into it, but, yeah, I'm happy with my decision, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
After you guys got your licenses, how long did it take you to like find the first deal?
Yeah, so that's a good question. It's like something that's like a work in progress, right? Like we get leads and we get connections that come in. So I've been licensed for I think like six months-ish. We have stuff in the pipeline, but it's just getting stuff to close and getting like the actual paycheck. That's what takes a long time. Like we've personally had a client, I always say Niran, but like we've met him a few months ago, tried to get him pre-approved. His goal is to get a property by 2020, and it's just, sometimes it just doesn't work out, right? We've had stuff off market as well. So a few months is what I would say to really have stuff that's like, you know.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah, deal-wise though, that it comes down to kind of the work and training you yourself want to put in,
Yeah.
and who you want to reach out to and kind of build that network. That could literally take up to 5 years, but if you're quick with it, right, it all depends, right? Again, it comes down to your work ethic, right? So.
Yeah, I think you had a question, Sylvan?
He actually answered it. Yeah, I was gonna
Oh.
ask like how do you deal with like rejection and stuff like
Oh,
and,
that's
like
a
how do
good-
you actually get that like first deal done?
Yeah.
It honestly comes down to like mentality. Like you have to learn to like accept failure. When things don't go your way, you have to be like, all right, let's move on to the next thing.
I look at
Go ahead, yeah.
I look at failing as like almost winning, because if you fail, you know, next time you do it, you're not gonna fail like that, right? So it's regardless, everyone fails in life at least a couple times, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know in like
Fail
school
and
it's like completely different. Like in school it's like if you fail a course it's like you gotta retake it. Like I remember when I was in grade 9 I failed like 3 courses and like it was just awful. In grade 10 I think I failed one as well. Slowly and sure that I did get better, but like now that I'm learning that like failure is actually extremely good because you always learn from your failures and your mistakes. So yeah.
It's honestly about like always being willing to learn, and that'll take you 10 times farther
Yeah.
than you thought it would. But any more questions?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the process of getting your realtor license if you don't?
Yeah, good question. So to get your real estate license, it's actually like there's like literally no requirements other than your high school diploma. So it's pretty easy to do. I think now though you need to go to Humber College. So you actually have to enroll online. I think you can do it completely online, but there's like in-person exams and whatnot. I believe it only takes a few months now because they recently changed it or whatever. But if you are interested, I would just literally search up Ontario Real Estate License, Humber College, and you should be able to find out everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So going back to like the mentorship, when you're like approaching someone for like working them for free, obviously not all of them are gonna be nice people. They're gonna try to like use you for like
Yeah.
free
Yeah.
labor. So how would you like avoid being used by them? So like,
Yeah.
so I want to work for you in exchange for knowledge, not like.
I would say it comes down to like what you have to offer them,
Yeah.
and then also like you yourself not letting that happen to you. Like,
Yeah, like definitely have expectations, right? Like say for example, like I want to work for Khalil for free. I want to know and I want Khalil to understand that hey, like I'm willing to literally do anything. I'll get your coffee, I'll do your dry cleaners, everything, but in return I need to know that I'm getting like, hey, a few hours of your time to literally just learn and sit down with you, or I'm getting to really learn how you operate your business. So you need to really like set your expectations, not high, but just set your standards right with that person, right?
So how would you meet with the mentor? So would you like meet them in like some coffee shop like tomorrow or something?
I'd say it depends on your like relationship.
Yeah, it depends, yeah. Like for example, like with Cam Cassidy even, like one of our mentors, literally we just went to one of his property tours one time. I introduced myself to him over social media. So it can literally be as simple as an Instagram DM. Like in fact, like, that's how we even got here today. It was literally just an Instagram DM. It doesn't have to be like, you know, you don't have to take him to dinner or anything fancy like that. It can literally be a DM, an email, a text, whatever. And then literally just try and carry out the conversation from there and, you know, offer your services and say, hey, I want to work for free for you. A lot of the time, like when people say they want to work for free, like we get those DMs as well. It's kind of like, we are happy that people like, you know, want to take that initiative. So a lot of the times we just offer to say, hey, like I'll just like, you know, answer your questions, whatever. You don't even have to work for free, but it really depends on the person.
And majority of the time, if you're reaching out to someone, they're going to appreciate that, right? They're going to say, obviously I'm doing something, obviously I'm doing something good enough for you to reach out, right? So
Yeah.
I'd almost take it as a compliment, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty
So
flat.
majority would too, right? It's just, again, the person you're dealing with, right? So.
Is there any like specific events that, you know, like kids like us or like people that are just like turning 18 or 19 like should go to, like something you recommend?
Yeah, so like I think to even start off, like I literally turned 19 in September, so like I was 18 for like most of my, I guess, career or whatever. In terms of networking, literally meetup.com is great. Eventbrite usually has some stuff. If you go on Facebook, you can literally click events and you can literally see all the events happening nearby. In terms of actual events, there is like a real estate investing group, like Austin's event that happens every month. One thing we've even noticed is we are like at the start we were extremely shy and nervous to go to events, but after we found that like when we go there, all the people are just extremely welcoming and surprised and shocked that like we're even there. They're like, are you guys even allowed to be here? And they just make jokes, right? Because they genuinely like to see us succeed. So I would literally say the easiest way to do it, find a buddy, a partner, even like go with multiple people. Just go to an event and you guys will be surprised at one, the value you get out of it, and two, how people treat you.
Yeah, and even if you don't have your license or anything, literally if you're just interested in whatever field it is to network in, still go out and just talk to people, see their stories and experiences, right?
Yeah.
And it's another thing that we're talking about finding a buddy. surround yourself. Okay, there's a saying. It's like
Yeah, this is very important.
this is like probably one of the most important things, and this is what it comes down to. So the saying is like, you are the average of the five people you spend your most time around, and like literally living that example is like, it's literally very relevant, and it's so true. And literally your circle determines where you go in. I wouldn't say where you go in life, but like how you develop as a person. Because say if you're hanging around people that want more for themselves and want more for you, you're gonna see like 10 times more growth than if you were hanging around people that didn't say want those things. So like, I'll definitely say your circle determines a lot about where you will.
And like, I'm sure you guys have seen the quotes where it's like, I keep my circle small because it's like real, or like all that stuff. Like that's actually very true. Like the smaller your circle, and I think you guys should really focus on the quality of your like circle as opposed to the quantity. And you know, like the more people you're friends with, the faker people are. Like that's actually very true. And like if you don't believe it, like you'll eventually learn it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and once you find that group, like for example us, we all hold each other accountable. You
Yeah.
know, we have calls and whatnot every once in a while, right? So it's just the accountability and the systems in place, right?
Like a year ago, I didn't even know them.
yeah, like me and DJ knew each other for a while. I did not know Nolan and Khalil this time last year.
Literally.
But like now we're like best friends and we're like business partners. It's crazy.
Wait, how did you guys meet?
Yeah, good question.
Instagram.
Yeah, literally like social media. Me
Our
and
social media, it's crazy.
Yeah, so me and Nolan one day we just met up, and then we just kind of became friends, whatever, talked and whatnot. And then I met Khalil because Khalil also knew me from social media. DJ and I, we went to elementary school together from like grade 4. So we've been friends for so long, and these two knew each other.
Me and Nolan have known each other since like kindergarten. So
Yeah.
Any last? Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, so from what you explained, it seemed like the process to becoming a real estate or a realtor is pretty simple.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
What-
simple.
Well, what in your
to
mind
get your
qualifies a good realtor?
Sorry, can you say that again? What should you say?
What in your mind qualifies a good realtor?
That's
yeah.
the thing, right?
So like one thing is, so do you mean in terms of like a client, what would a client think is a good realtor, or what would as a business person?
Well, if there's so many of them, how do you distinguish them apart?
Yeah, so there's like some crazy statistic that like only 20% of the realtors do 80% of the transactions, which is insane because that means there's a lot of like part-time realtors. So obviously if someone's a part-time realtor, they won't know the market and how to do certain things properly. So that's one thing to look for. Also like as a realtor, like we are always answering calls on our phones. We have to be on top of things. And it's just, if your realtor isn't going the extra mile, doing, you know, the absolute most to get you the best deal, then that realtor's not for you. And you'll be able to figure all this out within like a meeting or two. You'll know that, you know, is your realtor on time? Is he late? Is he well dressed? How is he operating? You'll all be able to tell, you know, within like a few minutes of just meeting the person.
Exactly. And another thing is like persistence as well. Like,
Yeah.
he's a very persistent person, and that's like led us to a lot of like crazy opportunities.
Yeah.
But like like if he wasn't that person, we wouldn't have been able to do things like that.
We can say the story too, I guess. Yeah, so
I mean,
are we good on time?
Yeah, we got a few minutes.
So, unless you want to do something else. Okay, so the story's pretty funny, right? So, we literally went to the office one day and we were like, hey, why don't we take a trip somewhere just for fun, right? And kind of have some business stuff. So we decided to take a day trip to Ottawa, which made no financial sense, but we just decided to do it. And we were calling people because we wanted to do a mansion tour video. So we were calling this person, a realtor in Ottawa, who had a $2.7 million mansion, right? And I just kept on calling them, kept on emailing them, DMing them, whatever. Eventually we got in, and when we got into that mansion, the guy's assistant came up to us and she was like, oh, we're surprised that you guys even got in here. And I'm like, well, why is that? And he's like, there was no other real estate agents in Ottawa that were allowed in the property other than the person who is listing the house.
Yeah.
And then she was like, the only reason you guys got in is because you guys kept calling, kept emailing, kept DMing. And we were literally like, wow, like, so if I didn't make those calls, like, we would not be there at that time. So
Yeah.
one thing is be persistent. Like, don't, hang up, like, don't be, like, too prideful of yourself and say, oh, like, I shouldn't, like, double text or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
if you need something and you need to get it done, just go and do it.
Yeah.
All right, any last questions? Do 1, 2, and then that'll be it, okay?
Like to add on to that last question, so do you feel like the market for realtors is like really saturated right now?
Of course.
Yes, but everything is saturated, and like it really depends, right? Like if you want to be a realtor, surely you want to be the top 1%, right? Like I can tell you that the market's saturated or there's a lot of realtors, but if you truly believe in yourself and you truly think you'll be successful, like the amount of people that told me that, oh, you're 19, you're not going to make it, blah, 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 this and that, is insane. But like I personally know that I will be at the top 1%, even if I'm not there now.
Yeah, and even like no matter how many realtors and whatnot there is, I'm sure you guys even coming home from school, etc. Right? You see for sale signs everywhere. There's business everywhere. It's just getting it right. So.
Yeah.
My question was, it doesn't really have to do with like realtor stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'm just wondering, like, what's your advice for a young entrepreneur or somebody who wants to start a business at a young age? And third, do you suggest, like, we're all in grade 12 now,
Yeah.
but do you suggest going into school or whatever we want to do after high school at like right away, or taking a year off or some time off?
I really like that
I like
question.
this question.
Okay, you can answer, then I want to talk about it as well.
Alright, so based on the school thing, it honestly comes down to like what you feel is right for you. Like say you want to get that, say what you would be taking in school has what you want and is giving you that knowledge, then 100% go to school and get that knowledge. But like say you're going to school just because you feel like you're obligated to, then I wouldn't suggest doing that. But like as long as you have a plan, if you're not going to go that route, so it's like it just comes down to like what you want to do.
Yeah.
For schooling, like if you feel that that's 100% what you want to do, for sure, jump right into it, right? But if you're, on the edge, because even I myself, right? That's why I didn't apply to any colleges or universities, because I was like, I don't know what I want to do, right? I didn't want to spend the money, go through all that process to just quit it, right? So I took the year off, and now look where I am, right? So it's like if you have a vision and kind of know what you want to do, then take a year off. But if you know for school-wise what you want to do, jump right into it, right? So.
And the other thing is like in high school, like I was always flipping like Jordans, all this stuff and whatever. So I was already naturally an entrepreneur, but I still decided for whatever reason that I wanted to go to university. Since you kind of are already self-aware that you want to be an entrepreneur, I say, maybe you take that year off and you try to start a business, learn as much as you can. Because realistically, if you take a year off, nothing's going to happen, right? You're not going to lose a lot of time because you're still only going to be, 18, 19 or whatever. You still have a lot more time. You haven't even lived half your life. So definitely, if you feel like you are entrepreneurial, do it. Because I literally, I applied to university, went through all that stress, literally just to drop out. Looking back at it, I went to night school to get my grades up, all of this, and it didn't do me any good. So,
sorry, what was the first two questions?
Oh yeah, we missed two questions.
It was just, what's your advice, to young?
Oh yeah. So mindset is the biggest one. No matter what you do, read a lot of books. Literally, just always be learning and have a routine too. That's a big thing because, if you're not in school, there's not that routine. So you have to have a routine. But again, just make sure your mindset is always, there where it wants to be. Right?
And understand, don't ever get comfortable. If you feel like you're doing the same thing every day and you feel like you're just really comfortable, just do something to get out of that comfort zone, because that's what will make you go downhill very quickly.
You guys watch Yes Theory? Anyone know? Okay, well, their big thing is to seek discomfort, and they do a lot of crazy stuff, right? So just try and seek discomfort.
Yeah,
actually
even this
it pays
for us,
off.
we were kind of we have no idea how this is gonna go. We we were kind of not nervous, but we were kind of okay, we have no idea what this is.
I'm not even gonna lie, a year ago today, I would never thought it'd be.
No, I would.
Yeah. I was supposed to be a French teacher, now I'm in a classroom. This is random.
Seek
we
discomfort.
also
for sure.
we brought books for you guys, and we're gonna give it out to one to Savannah. So everyone, say thank you to him for letting us come in here.
By the way, this book is.
It's unreal.
This book is probably one of my favorite books. And again, we're getting into the people who asked the most questions. So one's for you, and one's for you. Back over here. Thank you so much for asking the questions. There you go.
All right, let's just give a quick round of applause for Release, Leo, Nolan, and
Can we get a video of everyone saying? Do you think you can get